All right, guys, back on Southeastern 16 with Max Barr. We are previewing Kentucky versus Arkansas. A few storylines of note in this game. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central, prime time, ESPN. Of course, if you're a member, it just means more. Here at Southeastern 16, you get to watch the game with us. That is our special watch along on Saturday. We're doing it, so hit that join button. You can watch the game with us. But, Max, as we know, the story of this game, other than maybe just the records of each team, is John Calipari's return to Lexington. And it will be interesting, I'm sure, to see the reaction and see how it goes before the game. But once the game starts, a lot of blue going to be in that place, and they're going to be rooting for the Cats. And this is a big challenge for Arkansas, as we know. The Hogs not exactly had a memorable season at this point in a good way. They're 12-8. They are 1-6 in SEC play. Meanwhile, Kentucky coming off a huge win in Knoxville against Tennessee on Tuesday to move to 4-3 in the SEC. So many big wins now for the Cats this season at 15-5. And just from a basketball standpoint, probably a lot of things in Kentucky's favor here. But hey, we have to dive into the matchup and see what we can find in this one.
Yeah, tough to look at the numbers in this matchup just because we have such small sample sizes for what the current lineups are going to be. This is going to be a point guardless matchup here. Point guardless matchup. I think we'll have probably who would have thought a few months ago, but it looks like this is going to be some sort of DJ Wagner / John L. Davis by committee against the Jackson Robinson / Otega Owe point guard by committee. So it's tough to pull on like full season offensive numbers right now when kind of the catalyst of each offense has been changed just in the past week or so. So I'm looking at the defense here. And you know what? Kentucky just had probably its most impressive defensive performance, calling on the freshmen to step up. Kobe Brea with like some blocks, steals, playing his best defense he's played. So I think if you want to pull on some sort of angle here where, you know, you're a Cats fan and you're like, okay, these Southeastern 16 guys have just been, I don't even like listening to them anymore because they just keep telling me how bad my defense is. Well, hey, not right now because I'm pretty impressed with what I just saw on Tuesday.
Well, and the other side of that is Arkansas's offense, which is not very good right now and just hasn't been consistently. As Max has noted, yeah, I mean, Arkansas 15th in the SEC in adjusted offensive efficiency in conference play. They're 16th in effective field goal percentage, 16th in three-point percentage, 16th in two-point percentage. You're wondering why they're 1-6. That tells the story right there. Because quite honestly, they haven't been bad defensively. They've been below average in some categories, but defensively they've not been terrible. And so that's the thing, right? Though you're going up against a team offensively that has been so good. And, you know, if you just look at the numbers, Kentucky is shooting 41.2% from three in SEC play. That leads the league. They're getting 38.8% of their points from three. Not surprising. Also, the tops there. Arkansas's three-point defense, allowing 36.9% from three. That is 15th in conference play. So, I mean, look, statistically, there are just so many things in Kentucky's favor here that it really is a simple, and I think, Max, like you said, sure, a lot of the talk's going to be on just what can Arkansas do offensively to try to figure this out and score enough points to keep up with Kentucky. I think that's the biggest problem here. But, you know, defensively, you want to see that same sort of energy, I think, that we saw from Kentucky against Tennessee. And right from the start, too, because that, I thought was the key to that game in Knoxville, was that Kentucky just came out as the aggressor early on. They were not afraid, you know, to sort of play with the physicality you have to play with against Tennessee. And so if they can come out and kind of be the physical team here right off the bat against Arkansas, I think it'll serve them well because that was a huge confidence boost to get that win on the road in Knoxville. And I think given where Arkansas is at right now, you know, we can say, all right, they're going to come in and be ready to win this one for Cal, right? They'll give the motivational speech and all this other stuff. But I just don't know if I expect that from this team based on some of these performances they've had especially on the road, right? 76-52 at Tennessee, 78-74 loss at LSU, 83-65 loss at Missouri. And now they're going into the toughest environment they are going to play in probably all season, just based on the John Calipari angle. Maybe a tough ask here for the Hogs.
Yeah, it's got to be an Adu Thero game. If you're a Hogs fan, it has to be. No Andrew Carr probably, or if he does play, he does not look like himself right now. Looks a little bit tentative. So if you are trying to find an angle to attack, which this Arkansas offense has not been able to exploit many holes. One hole here in this Kentucky defense would be, Ansley Elminor, as good as a shooter as he is, he's a step down defensively from Carr, I think, just lengthwise, just kind of what he's able to do. So if you are Adu Thero, I think you just got the green light for just get the ball in that man's hands. However, Blake, there's an interesting angle here for Arkansas where that plays into their favor. It's a little bit of a trend. We always like to bet on bad news. You love to bet on bad news, all right? So that's usually 99% of the time it works 100% of the time. Texas A&M, first game without Wade Taylor. They go on the road to Oklahoma. Very tight spread. They go and they win that game by 2. Zurich Phelps steps up. Someone always steps up in that first game down. The opponent doesn't have a scout on what you're going to look at. It might present some challenges you weren't expecting. That next game after, you have the opponent has a game of film without this player that you're missing. They're at home against Alabama. A&M loses. Flip that to Arkansas. Arkansas, no Boogie Fland. Haven't won an SEC game yet. Home against Georgia. They're able to have guys step up. They tough it out, and they win that first game without that player. Oklahoma then watches that midweek game. They've got a game of film without Boogie Fland. They go to Arkansas, and they win that game after they've got a game of film on them. Now, Kentucky, no Lamont Butler, no Andrew Carr. Go to Tennessee. Present some challenges to Tennessee that we didn't expect. You got a game of film on Kentucky now with this lineup and how they're playing, what they like to do for Ansley. Just saying, there's a little bit of a trend of you get that huge buildup from the rest of the team. Everyone steps up in that big game when you need the players. But then after that, teams start to catch on to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think this is like, and we can go into picks with this, but like, if Arkansas is going to pull the upset here, all season long there's been another theme and trend that people have been looking for, and that is John L. Davis and his ability to just take off in this offense. And it just hasn't happened yet, right? It hasn't happened to the level that many people thought it would. But he's coming off of his best game of the season so far in terms of point total. Now, I know he went 3 of 11 from 3, but he was more involved, and can they keep that going? I think that's the question. How does Cal find a way to keep that going? Because if he can't, he's got to score 20-plus, I think, if they're going to win this game. Or maybe you could maybe even throw out and say he's got to score 20-plus if they're going to keep this within 10, just based on what we expect from Kentucky's offense here. And so I'm curious to see, can they get him the same kind of shots? And like I said, I know, percentage-wise, he was, 1 of 10 in the game against Georgia from 3, 3 of 11 in the game against Oklahoma. But to be honest with you, if I'm an Arkansas fan, I'm okay with that because I want him taking more shots because I think that's your best chance is just to have this guy involved in the offense, especially without Boogie Fland. So I think that's it. Arkansas's got to make it a priority to get him involved right from the start, even though, like you said, I agree. I think it's a Adu Thero game. But you got to have Davis here. He's got to play big in this game. If he scores 5 points, I just don't think they got a shot. And so we go to picks now, Max, on this game. Kentucky and Arkansas.
Yeah, if this spread is out there around 10-ish, I think just with the emotion of this game, the intensity of this game, and just how much buzz there is around it, I think 10 points is just a lot. That's like you really got to control this game and then close it out really strong also. there's just a lot that's got to go Kentucky's way for it to be, like a 15-point, 20-point game and cover that double-digit spread. So that I would keep an eye on that. Is it out there at 10, 11, or is it creeping down at like 8.5? And you're like, ooh, it's starting to get a little bit closer. Keep an eye on that. However, what I am looking at and leaning into to make this pick, Arkansas's 3 games on the road in SEC play. At Missouri, they let Missouri shoot 11 of 23 from 3 for 47%. LSU, 8 of 22, 36%. And Tennessee, 10 of 26, 38%. Teams are just absolutely lighting it up when the Hogs come to town. And now I think they're going to face the best 3-point shooting team they've faced probably since that Illinois game where Illinois shot 15 of 31 for 48%. So it just has not been easy covering the perimeter for the Hogs yet. And nothing has really showed me that they just fix all that right now and go into Kentucky and stifle them. So I'll go Cats. I think they get enough points from 3 to win this one.
All right, Max, who's Chris picking?
Chris has got, oh boy. Chris got Cats. Chris got Cats.
Okay.
No.
I'm surprised.
No. I know.
Surprised he's picking Kentucky. Okay, so we find ourselves in a predicament here, Max, because, we know what Kentucky fans think whenever we all pick them. It usually does not go in their favor. However, when we all pick against them like we did against Tennessee on Tuesday, it's a big win for the Cats. And so this one's from Mother Carol, all right?
No way.
I can do it.
Oh,
I can't do it, Max.
God.
I got to pick the Cats here in this one. I'm sorry to Mother Carol. I'm sorry to Kentucky fans. Listen, if Kentucky loses this game, it's not the Southeastern 16 kiss of death, all right? Nope. There's another reason, because we said it. I just think there's too many matchup things in their favor. Arkansas offensively has just not been good. I know Kentucky's defense has been lacking at times, but people are like, well, Arkansas is going to be locked in for this one. I think Kentucky is going to be locked in for this one too. I'd be surprised if they're not. You do always worry about the hangover effect after a big road win like that, but man, this is such a different situation where it's a primetime ESPN game. We always say the Cats seem to deliver in these big time, high profile games. Even record wise, this doesn't feel like it, but it's a high profile game. And I just think the way Kentucky's been playing and the way Arkansas has played on the road, how could I not pick Kentucky here? In sort of any scenario. So give me the Cats in this one. And yes, as we said, we will be doing our watch along for members for this game. Saturday nights, you can join us. Hit that join button. $3.99 a month. That allows you to support the channel, of course, but also gets you in on the members-only content, which will be the watch-along on Saturday night. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. More predictions for Saturday's games on the way. And again, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon at Southeastern 16.